Uh, so, Saint Maud. Now, I didn't realize this was an A24 film. A24 films have been kind of odd for me. They're very polarizing. Look at Midsommar, which, admittedly, after watching it a couple times, I don't mind it anymore, but it's a whole lot to take in. Much like this film. Now, I am counting this in my 2021 ranking of those of you who want to be all proper and want to be all, correct about it. Yes, this did come out in the UK in 2019. Technically, it's a 2020 film. But being as the US people didn't actually get the physical copies till now, I'm going to count it for this year. And I don't know where to start with this movie because, like I said, it's very polarizing. I don't even know where to begin. Just a little back. Maud is a caregiver, a hospice nurse, caring for a woman named Amanda, who is dying, of course, because hospice nurse is. And Maud is all into believing about the God and Jesus and everything. Amanda is not. She's a atheist. And it's kind of that clash between the two where Maud's trying to save Amanda, and Amanda's doing all this stuff. She smokes, she drinks. She has sex with a woman, which I don't know, in Maud's eyes means that it's adultery or something, or it's not right unless it's a man and a woman. I don't know how the religious beliefs. I'm not going to go into a bunch of religious stuff. I guess I should have known, because being that it's called Saint Maud, but I didn't realize it was a religious film. I don't know. Well, I didn't realize that, but yes. So I really don't know how to explain this movie. There are some haunting visuals in this, but when you see where it's leading to, the eventual end, I don't, I've heard praise for the ending, oh, it's such a glorious ending, and it is kind of like that, but I actually don't care for the ending, and I'll tell you why. Because I would have liked it to be more ambiguous. And this ending outright tells you, no, this is what's exactly going on. So throughout the film, Maud is trying to save Amanda, and she believes that she can feel God's presence in the form of an orgasm or something. We don't really get much about her past other than her real name is Katie. Something happens. She has marks on her belly that may indicate she used to be pregnant. We know that she had an old life where she used to drink and she used to have promiscuous sex. And after an event in which she accidentally killed the person she was caring for, she changed her ways. That's pretty much all we know. But she tries to reach Amanda, and it seems like she does, they have a moment, but she then goes off on her girlfriend, friend, companion lady that she's sleeping with, her lover, I guess, saying that you should leave, and I'm trying to save her, and you're making it worse. But this lady ends up, her name is Carol, ends up calling Amanda, and that worsens their relationship. She even calls it out in the middle of her birthday party, like Amanda's birthday party. She calls it out, saying, "Oh, she's my Saint Maud. She's my savior. She's trying to help me." And so don't take anything that I say seriously. She's joking, but this is very embarrassing. And she ends up, after she gets fired for slapping Amanda, because she's had enough, she goes back to her old ways. She goes to a bar. She starts drinking again. She jerks off a dude in a bathroom stall. She has sex with a fat dude before seeing a vision. And look, this scene, okay? After she freaks out, she's like, okay, I just want to go. He's like, no, it's okay. And he continues to finish. You know, according to Wikipedia, this is rape. I don't defend rape in any way, shape, or form, but this is not rape. Because, like, she doesn't push him away, she doesn't say no, she just lays there. And you can say, well, even if she's not fending it off, she didn't want it. She didn't say anything. I'm not defending rapists, believe you me, I hate that shit. But it just seems like she was letting him finish. If she didn't want him to do it, she would have pushed him away. So as far as I can see it, like, she just let him, like, she lays there and lets him finish, which I thought I was the fastest gun in the West, but this guy takes the cake. But anyway, yeah, I'm not just gonna move on from this because I don't know. It still makes me uncomfortable to talk about it, but I really don't consider it to be. If he had held her down, pushed her, and forced herself, that's one thing. But it just seems like she let him finish. That's all it is. So I don't know. Wikipedia needs somebody to re-edit that because it doesn't seem to me anyway, and that's a matter of an opinion. You see it that way? That's fine. That's your opinion. You have the right to be disgusted or what's the word? Disgraced, or whatever the word is, by it. Offended by it if you want. It's your right. But to me, it just doesn't seem that way, although it's an opinion, so who knows. But, yes. So moving on. She then has a moment where she believes she talks to God in Welsh. And then she goes back to Amanda's place and tries to help her, but Amanda pushes her away, and it's like, stop with that stuff. He's not real. What are you talking about? We had the moment. I faked it. There was no moment. I was just pretending, and then she goes nuts and she kills her. She sees that Amanda is possessed by a demon, and she kills her. And I'm like, whoa, okay, this is starting to get good. And then she goes to the beach wearing this thing. She douses herself with some liquid. I believe it's some kind of, it's gotta be flammable. And she lights herself on fire, and you see this beautiful, angelic kind of fiery thing. And if it had ended there, I'd be like, that was cool. That was fantastic. But they clearly had, a ending path for this. It was not about a woman who is devout in her beliefs and, succumbs to God and becomes, an angel or something like that upon this ending. It's quite this end when it completely snap cuts to reality, and she's just on fire, screaming in the most horrible, terrible way, and then the movie ends. And that's when you're like, okay, this wasn't about a woman's beliefs and trying to be closer to God. It was about mental health. And like I said, I'm no Jesus freak. I don't go to church. I believe he's up there watching over us. But I do not believe you need to go every week and praise him for him to, to protect you. I believe he's watching over us, and you don't need to, sing to the high heavens to let everyone else know about it. Don't preach about it. Just accept that he's there and that's fine. I know I don't talk a lot about God. I believe that God and YouTube should be separate. There are some YouTubers who like to put God in their reviews, and I just think they should just stick to, unless it's a religious film like this, so religious film like this or a religious TV show, by all means, discuss that. But if you're watching a movie like Man of Steel, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, Man of Steel is saying that Superman is Jesus and he's being raised above the heavens. No, just it's a movie. Don't I know there's allegories for that in that movie. I know what Zack Snyder was trying to do, but you don't need to go out of your way to mention that in the videos. I just think you should leave them separate unless you're reviewing a movie like this. And I would have been fine with an ending where it looked like she was accepted by God into heaven like that, just like a fire angel. But the fact that they made it a mental kind of thing, they showed us throughout the films that weird things were happening, and then just that ending shows you everything that was fantastic or demonic or anything that would be considered horror, basically, was in her head and nothing was actually happening within the confines of this movie. It just makes it go for me. Like if it ended before they showed, if they just cut before they showed her engulfed in flames and screaming like a banshee, I would have been fine. Because it would have a different meaning. But now you're blatantly showing us, no, it's mental problems. It's that she's not saving anybody because she's nuts. And that just doesn't work for me. So overall, I have to say when it comes to Saint Maud, it sits firmly in the middle of the road. It's not a bad movie by any means. A lot of people will get, different meaning from this. I strongly disagree with people who say it's the best horror movie of the year. Halloween Kills was better than this. I'm a slasher fan, so that's objective, but I'm just saying, to me, this was middle tier stuff. When I finally do my ranking, like in March or whatever it is, it'll probably be low on the list. But it's going to be a middle of the road for me because there's some good stuff in it, but it all gets derailed by the ending when you just reveal that it's been mental problems the whole time and it just doesn't work for me. And, I've seen other reviews where they say this movie is not for everyone, and that's the best thing you can say about this movie. It's not for everyone, and it's just not for me. It's just not for me, but there is stuff to like about it. The visuals in this are fantastic, but again, when you go through the entire movie and all the visuals you see, and at the end you just realize it's on her head, that takes away from it all, in my opinion. So just, middle of the road. I don't know how many times I gotta say it, but I'm getting ready to go, guys. So, what did you think of Saint Maud? In the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.